Alright, muscle car lovers, buckle up. It's time to hit the gas and take a fast trip down memory lane. Today on the channel, we're looking into the world of Mopars and celebrating the 9 fastest machines that ever roared out of the automobile industry in the 60s and 70s. So start your engines, shift your gears, and let's take a ride through history. But before we get started, smash that like button and subscribe to the channel so you never miss out on all things classic cars. Hit that notification bell too so you'll be the first to know when we drop new content. Now let's rev up and see what these 9 Mopar monsters can do. Number 2 will blow your mind. Number 9 on the list is the 1970 Plymouth Superbird. Alright gearheads, let's start with this feathery beast, the 1970 Plymouth Superbird. This aerodynamic auto wasn't built for comfort, but for crushing competition on NASCAR's superspeedways. Clocking in at a hefty 4,296 pounds, the Superbird was powered by a 426 cubic inch Hemi engine that unleashed about 425 horsepower. But pure muscle wasn't enough. The Superbird's most distinctive feature was its towering rear wing, generating downforce to keep this land missile glued to the track to prevent it from taking off. Nicknamed the Winged Warrior, the Superbird dominated the 1970 season, winning an impressive 13 races. And here's a fun fact. The Superbird's performance was so supreme that NASCAR had to cancel aero cars like it for the following season, proving that sometimes winning can be a little too good, and this car was almost a cheat. Coming in at number 8 is the legendary 1970 Dodge Challenger RT. The 1970 Dodge Challenger RT was a muscle car that showed standard American performance and design. A direct competitor to the Ford Mustang and the Chevrolet Camaro, it carved its place in Mopar history with its aggressive looks and tire-shredding power. The Challenger RT's split grille and quad headlights are instantly recognizable design cues. Under the hood, it is packed with different engines, with the legendary 426 cubic inch Hemi V8 being the most desirable, churning out 425 horsepower. This bruiser could launch from 0 to 60 in around 5.2 seconds and reach over 140 miles an hour. The Challenger RT also graced the racetrack, becoming a pop culture icon. It appeared in movies like Vanishing Point and earned the nickname the Vanishing Muscle Car as production ended just 4 years after its debut. And just so you know, the Challenger RT was offered with an optional hood-mounted tachometer, which was discontinued due to safety hazards. Number 7 on our list is the 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda. Let's start with a fun fact. Did you know that the 1971 Plymouth Hemi Cuda was so powerful that some insurance companies refused to cover it? This beast of a muscle car wasn't just fast, it was a symbol of untamed performance that pushed the boundaries of the era. The Hemi Cuda marked the pinnacle of the Plymouth Barracuda's evolution, offering an ever-ready design and top performance. Its most distinctive feature was the aggressive hood with dual scoops, feeding air to the legendary 426 cubic inch Hemi V8, churning out a staggering 425 horsepower. This powerhouse enabled the car to rocket from 0 to 60 in a jaw-dropping 5.0 seconds and reach a top speed exceeding 140 miles an hour. The Hemi Cuda wasn't just a quarter-mile champion, it had a scary presence on the streets. Its fastback design, positioned by a prominent spoiler and dual exhaust pipes, left no doubt about its capabilities. While it's less widely produced than some rivals, the Hemi Cuda earned a large following and cemented its place in muscle car history. Standing at number 6 is a 1970 Dodge Charger RT. Believe it or not, the 1970 Charger RT held the world record for the fastest 4-door production car for a staggering 10 years. The Dodge Charger RT established itself as a muscle car powerhouse upon its 1966 debut. This 4-door defied expectations, offering brutal performance wrapped in a family car body. Defining features included the iconic split grille and retractable headlights. The most coveted engine was the 426 cubic inch Hemi V8, boasting 425 horsepower. The Charger RT outperformed its specs, becoming one of the very best. If you've seen the Fast and Furious movie, then you've seen this bad boy. Let's not forget its need for speed. This powerhouse propelled the Charger RT from 0 to 60 in a scorching 5.2 seconds and well over 140 miles per hour at the top end. Number 5 is the 1967 Dodge Coronet 426 Hemi. The 1967 Dodge Coronet 426 Hemi was a rare and underrated muscle car that packed a surprising amount of power. While overshadowed by other flashier Dodge, this particular Dodge Coronet offered exceptional performance in a more subdued package. The Coronet 426 Hemi could launch from 0 to 60 in a respectable 5.5 seconds and reach over 140 miles an hour. Under the hood lurked the legendary 426 cubic inch Hemi V8, churning out a hefty 425 horsepower. While not as widely celebrated as other Mopars, the Coronet 426 Hemi held a special place for enthusiasts seeking a sleeper muscle car with understated elegance. With production numbers significantly lower than its counterparts, it remains a sought-after classic today. Despite its impressive performance, the 1967 Coronet 426 Hemi was offered with a surprising option: a two-door station wagon body style. Number 4 is the iconic 1970 Plymouth GTX 426 Hemi. The 1970 Plymouth GTX 426 Hemi offered a unique blend of muscle and luxury in Mopar's lineup. While overshadowed by the other Plymouths, it had its own uniqueness. The legendary 426 cubic inch Hemi V8 unleashed 425 horsepower, launching the GTX from 0 to 60 in a blistering 5.2 seconds and reaching over 140 miles an hour. Its distinctive design featured a dual scoop hood and a focus on comfort, making it a true grand touring muscle car. Though not a major movie star, the GTX earned respect as a refined performance machine. Unlike some Hemi Mopars, the GTX offered air conditioning, a rare option for high horsepower cars of the era, showing off its true luxury. Number 3 is the 1968 Dodge Dart 440. The 68th Dodge Dart 440 was a sleeper in Mopar's muscle car arsenal. This unassuming compact defied expectations. A monstrous 440 cubic inch V8, usually reserved for larger cars, lurked under the hood, churning out a hefty 375 horsepower. While acceleration figures are elusive, its performance was undeniable. The Dart 440 wasn't a showstopper, its design remained relatively tame. This sleeper muscle car flew under the radar, surprising unsuspecting competitors on the street. One fact about this Dodge is that only around 650 Darts were ever outfitted with the mighty 440 engine, making them rare and highly sought after classics today. Number 2 is the special 1970 Chrysler 300. An unexpected Mopar muscle. The 1970 Chrysler 300 stands out as a unique entry in Mopar's muscle car legacy. Unlike its fire-breathing siblings, it offered a luxurious twist on the muscle car. The standard engine was a powerful 440 cubic inch V8, but a hidden gem was the optional Hearst edition, packing a high-performance 440 TNT V8. While acceleration times varied, it delivered a thrilling ride with a touch of class. Its design was more of a formal setting, and the interior was luxurious, setting it apart as a sophisticated muscle car. A fun fact about the Chrysler 300 is that despite its muscle, the Chrysler 300 offered features like power windows and a sunroof, which is a very uncommon feature in most muscle cars of the era. And finally, at number 1, we have a 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner 426 Hemi. The 1971 Plymouth Roadrunner 426 Hemi was a paradox, a cartoon character wrapped in brutal muscle. Though overshadowed by the Plymouth Cuda, it held its own ground. The legendary 426 Hemi V8 unleashed 425 horsepower, launching it from 0 to 60 in a surrounding time frame of 5.0 seconds. The iconic beep beep horn announced its arrival, while the hood with dual scoops showed off its power. Unlike some Hemi Mopars, it retained a bench seat, prioritizing fun over luxury. This accessible muscle car printed the Roadrunner's place in drag racing history. The 1971 model year was the last for the 426 Hemi engine in the Roadrunner, making these cars extra desirable.